Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share a comparison between Samsung S9 Plus and Vivo Nex S. Both phones share the same Snapdragon 844 or 845. What differs is the amount of RAM, as the S9 Plus have 6 GB and the Nex S has 8 GB. You can see that the S9 Plus have a 6.2-inch screen and the Vivo Nex 6.6-inch screen. Both use Super AMOLED panels and they are very good in direct sunlight. The S9 Plus is a tad brighter. So let's check out the camera and start with the Nex S. You can see that it has an under-display fingerprint reader. Both phones has also always on display. The fingerprint sensor is not always visible, as you can see. You need to move the phone sometimes before unlocking. The Vivo Nex is a large phone, about 4mm longer than the S9 Plus and 3.2mm wider. It's also 10 grams heavier than the S9 Plus. Both phones sports dual camera setup. On the Nex S we have a 12 megapixel main camera with 1.8 aperture, and the camera is optical image stabilized and electronic image stabilized. The secondary camera is a 5 megapixel depth sensor used for bokeh effect. The video can be shot in 4K 720p and Full HD at 30 frames per second. You can also shoot slow motion at 720p at 240 frames per second. Let's move on to the Samsung S9 Plus. The display resolution is higher on the S9 Plus. It can be set to 1440 times 2960 pixels instead of the Nex S that only has Full HD display. Now let's check the camera setup. The S9 Plus sports two 12 megapixel cameras. One is a wide angle lens. It automatically switches between 1.5 aperture and 2.4 depending on the available light, and that feature produces very good photos in low light scenarios. The secondary camera has a 2.4 aperture and 2 times optical zoom. Both lenses are optical image stabilized. Video can be shot up to 4K at 60 frames per second and slow motion at 720p and 960 frames per second. So let's check out the result of the comparison, and please leave a comment in the comments below on what you think about this and which camera that you think produces the best image quality. They have different color representation, these two phones. This photo is taken more or less the exact same time of night. And here you can see the S9 Plus has a more colorful image. I think a little bit oversaturated. Zooming in, it's not so big, such a big difference. You can see it's a little bit clearer on the S9 Plus, but it's not much. And here you can see this bird is. When you zoom into this, you can see that S9 Plus is extremely sharp, almost too sharp, sharpened. So a very good photo. And here you can see S9 Plus wins this one also. It has produced a little too bright colors, a brighter image than it looks like when you see it with your naked eye. You can see the text is a bit clearer on the S9 Plus. You can see the guitar at the left. You can see the sign above that. I'm going to zoom in to that, and you can see that maybe a little sharper on the S9 Plus, but not much. It's very little difference between these cameras, except for the color representation. There's a motorcycle. I like these ones with a lot of chrome. So zooming in, you will see that there's no real difference between the sharpness of these two photos. I have not done any pictures with the zoom functionality on the S9 Plus because the Vivo Nex do not have that feature. You can see on this photo, I think the Vivo Nex is a little bit sharper, but yeah, it's more or less, they are more or less equal. Here is walking with in 4K, and you can see I don't think either of them are especially good. I'm holding them with one phone at a time. I have no specific holder, I only use my hand. You can see here the slow motion on the S9 Plus is fantastic. It's really cool to have that kind of slow motion. So it's 960 frames per second on the S9 Plus and 240 frames per second on the Vivo Nex. So you can see the front firing camera, the selfie camera. It has 8 megapixel on the S9 Plus and 1.7 aperture. And the Vivo Nex has no camera, as you can see, visible. So the camera lives on top of the phone. So when you're starting up the selfie camera, it pops up from the top. It's quite cool, and it gives room for more display, of course, which I'm very fond of. But you can see these two images, maybe a little sharper on the S9 Plus, but yeah, I think they are quite good, both of them. So this was my comparison between the Samsung S9 Plus and the Vivo Nex. Please subscribe to my channel, it will really help me, and leave comments in the comment section below and tell me what you think about this comparison. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.